Welcome back to another video on the channel. Day 3 of my coverage of the 2020 ATP World Tour Finals. I'm recording this video straight after watching one of the best matches of the year, probably one of the greatest matches in the history of the ATP World Tour Finals, played between Dominic Thiem and Rafael Nadal. Over 60 winners in the match, and the level that both players relentlessly produced in over 2.5 hours was quite incredible. Dominic Thiem did eventually take the match with 2 tie breaks, winning it in straight sets, and I will talk about that match in greater detail, but I just want to look back quickly on last night's match played between Daniil Medvedev and Alexander Zverev. This was a repeat of the Paris Masters final that we got earlier this month, in which Daniil Medvedev came back from a set down to beat Zverev 2-1. Pre-match I did predict Zverev to win this one. I thought the fast hard courts would suit Zverev's style more than Medvedev's. I thought Zverev's big forehand would come into play and he would break down the defences of Daniil Medvedev. I did anticipate tie breaks and probably a close 3-set match, not many breaks of serve, and the first 2 games of the match both went against serve. Medvedev didn't start the match at all well, mistiming the ball, making routine errors, and he gifted Zverev an opening break. Zverev looked to be taking control of the early exchanges, but then the double fault set in, making 3 consecutive double faults and gifting Medvedev the break back. And I did mention in my preview, and I know Tim Henman's been talking about this a lot when coverage on the BBC, that at this sort of level, when you're playing top 8 players all the time in the draw, you can't afford to be making 8-9 double faults in a match and gifting games. Medvedev's a fantastic server, doesn't get broke very often, so if you do get that break of serve early, you need to consolidate and try and hold on to your serve throughout the set and win the set from the early break. And Zverev just gave up that early break that he got with 3 double faults, and it's not good enough for a player that's in the top 8 in the world. But yeah, just moving on. It was a very good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of entertaining points and different matchups that played out. It was Zverev on the front foot, looking to be aggressive, try and get the forehand and the backhand into play and break down the defensive Medvedev. Medvedev's a fantastic mover, got great reach, a very good counter puncher, used the slap forehand down the line a lot last night. And Zverev probably employed the right tactics in terms of coming into the net early, trying to keep the point short, which worked in his favour. But at the net, I don't think he had the most conviction. His volleys weren't good enough. They're either not deep enough or not wide enough, and it was allowing Medvedev time to get there and use the passing shot, and that sort of put doubt into Zverev's mind. Zverev got deeper and deeper as the match progressed, and Medvedev just started to bully him from the back of the court. Zverev was really struggling to hit through the ball and through the defensive Medvedev, who, as I've just said, he's a fantastic defensive player, and he redirected the pace of Zverev and started to crunch winners of his own. And Zverev by the end just seemed to run out of ideas. He couldn't get the ball past Medvedev, and Medvedev just zoned in, didn't make any unforced errors really in that second set. And once he got the break of serve, it was a matter of time before Medvedev served it out. He's got that fantastic first serve, and it was very consistent last night. And with Medvedev, I've talked about this before, he's got a very fast first serve motion. When he starts to find it, he just rolls it in and reels off service games very, very quickly. He wins service games in less than a minute at times. Just bounce, bounce, ace, repeat. And that's sort of what happened at the back end of that second set. He closed it out in with a hold to love and won 6-3, 6-4. So yeah, a very good performance to Daniil Medvedev. Alexander Zverev, it was a decent performance. I think against the player hasn't got as good a defence against of Medvedev. He might have won a set or even won the match. I think he struck the ball pretty well from the back of the court, but Medvedev just defended very well. And I think with Medvedev winning the points when Zverev was at the net sort of put that doubt in Zverev's mind. He changed up his style and sort of played into Medvedev's hands. But yeah, a great win for Medvedev, who won the match in straight sets. So moving on to today's match, which was just an absolute thriller, and as I said, probably one of my favourite matches of the year and one of the greatest matches in Tour Finals history. And I watched a very interesting video this morning that talked about Thiem's tactics against Nadal and watched how Thiem's transformed his hard-court game by moving up the court in recent years, and the performance he put in today was just incredible. From both players as well, Rafa could have quite easily won this match. He should have took the open set with those 3 set points he had in the tie break, but I could talk through every game in the match and pick out different points and different rallies and different talking points, but I'd probably be here for hours. So from both players, from ball one, I think Rafa took on the Thiem backhand very early in the match with his forehand, and I think Rafa certainly won that argument. Thiem's backhand wasn't timed perfectly in those opening 4 or 5 games. I felt Rafa was hitting to his backhand side with real power, precision, topspin, and Thiem struggled to deal with that. But the more Thiem got on the forehand, the more he attacked the net and got the volleys away, which I think is a very underrated part of Thiem's game, the more success he had. And Thiem up on the baseline, up on his toes, looking to be aggressive, is, in my opinion, probably the second best player in the world right now behind Djokovic. The power he hits the ball with is the best in the world. I've not seen anybody hit the ball quite as cleanly as Thiem in recent years. The power he gets off the forehand down the line, the forehand cross court when he's running around the ball is unbelievable. And the same for Rafa. Rafa had some fantastic volleys today at the net. If Thiem's not returning, then they must be good. We know how quick Thiem is and how well he covers the court. Nadal's forehand I thought was brilliant. Cross court, he hit some fantastic winners when he read the Thiem's net play. He had the open court, which he used very effectively. I think he read Thiem's play very well today, but reading it and stopping it is 2 very different things. And the first set wouldn't deserve a tie break. There wasn't one break point in the whole of the first set. I think both players' first serves were very, very good, very consistent, and if Thiem got the first serve in, he'd back it up with a monster forehand or backhand, a 1-2 punch. They both used that very well. The same for Rafa. He served very well and consistently against Rublev the other day and backed it up with a huge forehand. He'd done that again today. One slight criticism of Dominic Thiem, I don't think he returned the Rafa second serve aggressively enough. As I've said, Rafa's been a player over the years that he might not possess the biggest first serve, but the shot after the return is always on point from Rafa. You don't win many first serve points against Rafa. He always backs it up with a huge, deep, wide forehand, and Thiem couldn't do a lot about that. The 1-2 punch from Rafa today was on point from ball one. But when Rafa did roll in the second serve, Thiem was too deep for me in his return position. He had to move up the court and try and put pressure on that Rafa second serve, try and get into the point, look to be aggressive. Just getting the ball back against the Rafa second serve isn't enough because you're giving him control again of the rally. But you can't criticise Dominic Thiem when he's won straight sets and played the way he did. But just as a point for the future, I expected Thiem to move up the court on that second serve and be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, that first set did go to tie break and it looked like it was going Rafa's way. 5-2 he led, and I was saying when I was watching the match in commentary that a couple of years ago Dominic Thiem would have probably lost that tie break, 7-2, 7-3, but he's got that belief now and he's had them experiences of coming back and winning from looking like losing positions. Alexander Zverev, he was 2 sets down at the US Open final. Daniil Medvedev in the semi-final of the US Open, he won 2 tie breaks. He led Djokovic 2-1 in the Australian Open final. So he's had so many fantastic wins and performances and comebacks this year. He never looks beat and he just resets so well now. He takes every point as it comes, and at 5-2 down against Rafa in the open first set tie break, Thiem was on the front foot. He was still going for all his shots. He still believed he was going to out hit Rafa. He did exactly that. Rafa had 3 set points I think in their opening tie break, or 2 maybe, but it was Thiem who kept fighting. He kept getting the ball back in court. He kept going for his shots, hitting winners, and when he did get his first set point, he took it in absolute style. Run around forehand, slap cross court, clean winner, first set Dominic Thiem. And yeah, I think that set just personified how good Dominic Thiem has got and how well he's playing, particularly over the last 18 months, but also mentally. As I've said, to come back from 5-2 against Rafa in a tie break is incredibly tough. Not many players can do it, but he's got the belief in the game to do it, and he showed that again today. And the second set was more the same, more good serving, clean winners. Couldn't really win a point in each other's serve. There was a few break points, but both of them just performed so well under pressure. It wasn't until I think it was 3-3 or 4-4. I think it was 3-3 in the second set where Rafa did gain a massive break. He read the Thiem backhand cross court and had an open forehand down the line, which he took. Thiem responded so well though. You almost thought that Rafa was on the verge of winning that second set, but Thiem's response to that break was incredible. Some of the points that he won to break Rafa back was unbelievable, and it wasn't until 5-4 Rafa three match points down, but you can never write off Rafa and Nadal. The fight, the ability that he's got to reset and take every point as it comes and produce his best tennis under pressure is why he's won 20 Grand Slams, and Rafa reeled off 5 consecutive points to level it up at 5-5, and I did start to wonder, would that affect Dominic Thiem? The match was on his racket almost. He had 3 match points and didn't take them. You're back at 5-5 in a best of 3. But again, he showed all the mental strength and the experience that he's got now of resetting, refocusing, taking every point as it comes, remaining focused, and he's done exactly that. I think he held a love, and it did eventually go to another tie break. And at this point, I thought the way Dominic Thiem's playing in that first set tie break, I'm not batting against him doing it again, and he did. I can't remember what score it was in that tie break. It might have been 7-3 or 7-4 now, but he just produced winner after winner from every angle of the court. Backhand, forehand, volleys at the net, aces. He just had everything in that second set tie break, and Rafa was outclassed. I felt at the back end of that second set tie break and the end of the first set tie break, and there wasn't a lot in the match. Rafa up against probably anybody in the world other than Djokovic or Thiem would have won that match today. He hit a lot of winners. The forehand was fantastic. He served well. He backed up the first serve with an aggressive shot. But Thiem was just on another level in the tie breaks, and relentless hitting from both players. Dominic Thiem is a player that is getting better and better all the time. It's incredible to watch, and yeah, what a player he's turned out to be. In my opinion, the second best player in the world at the moment behind Novak Djokovic. I think, the level that Thiem's producing, the relentless hitting, the consistency to his game is, again, getting better and better all the time. And I said while watching the match, this is why I love watching this sport, to watch matches like this. It makes you appreciate how hard the players work and the quality that they do have. And yeah, what a match from Nadal and Dominic Thiem. Undoubtedly the match of the tournament so far, and it'll take so much to beat it. It sort of deserved to be a final. It was, disappointing almost that it was only a round robin match, but an incredible watch, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it that tuned in. Quickly moving on to tonight's match, which will be between Stefanos Tsitsipas and Andrei Rublev. Both players obviously lost their opening round matches, so could certainly do with a win. In terms of predicting a winner, I do think Stefanos Tsitsipas will be more suited to this fast hard court. I think he possesses the bigger ground strokes on the forehand and backhand. Rublev didn't play too well in his opening match against Rafa Nadal. Struggled with nerves, which shouldn't be as much of a problem tonight, but needs to serve and return better. The double-handed backhand wasn't as consistent as what we've seen so far in 2020, but Tsitsipas doesn't bring the level of what Nadal does, it seems anyway, this year on hard court, so it's more a match that Rublev can win. He has won 5 ATP titles this year, so should be going to the match in relatively strong form and confidence. For Tsitsipas, obviously the defending champions should again come here in huge form. We know he can produce fantastic aggressive tennis, really attack the net with conviction and authority when he wants to, and it's a chance for Tsitsipas to bounce back after that opening defeat. So yeah, my opinion is I think Tsitsipas probably wins that one in straight sets, but I hope Rublev puts in a good performance. It was disappointing to see him play badly against Nadal after the year he's had, but both players have huge futures in the game, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to that one. I will be covering that match again through a live commentary from around 8 o'clock on Grand Slam Tennis Online, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But thanks for watching the video. please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.